People go through their day-to-day lives without realizing how close they are to having their whole world turned upside down. On November 4th, Amendment 67 was on the ballot. We are here to tell you how this amendment would have drastically changed your life if it had been passed.
Ryan, Against Women is a counterproductive sideshow. Can you expand on why you did that?
Well, I think that this is the next battle in the war on women, or the so-called war on women. I think it's very difficult to say that women, with 52% of the electorate, let's remember, are unanimously, in support or opposed to anything. And I think the idea that we are trying to pit the genders against one another and suggest that Paul Ryan is somehow antagonistic to women is something that we should all be looking down upon.
1 in 5 women in America use Planned Parenthood, and if the anti-abortion law comes to effect, clinics across the state will be shut down.
Planned Parenthood doesn't only provide abortion services, it also provides birth control, pregnancy testing, STD testing, vaccines, general health care, men and women's health care, and cancer screenings.
Relationships. And then we also have male services to make sure that the male reproductive system is healthy, and we do have some transgender services.
Planned Parenthood not only provides services for women, but also men and transgenders.
Can you think of any ways that Amendment 67 would possibly affect women? No.
A drunk driver killed Heather Surovic's 8-month-old preborn son Brady, but avoided prosecution because Colorado law doesn't recognize Brady as a person. In honor of her son, Heather Surovic has initiated the Brady Amendment.
Birth control would have a tax and would earn the government $483 million annually. There are 700 or more Planned Parenthood clinics with an average of 7 people working at them. If Planned Parenthood were to shut down, the unemployment rate would skyrocket.
I think that that's what women are caring about, and the idea that we're concerned about the government supporting free birth control for women is insulting. I think it is a distraction from the real conversation, which is that these economic policies over the last 3.5 years have been a failure. We have over 8.3% unemployment. These are the issues that women recognize are important, just as men do, and the polling is showing.
Sure. So basically what Hobby Lobby said, what they argued in front of the Supreme Court, is because of their religious conviction as a company that they should not be required to provide birth control to their female employees, right? Which is another, it's competing discriminatory issues, right? One is the religious side, which is a protected issue. You can't discriminate against someone because of their religion. And women. You can't discriminate against women. So these are competing protected classes. And what the Supreme Court said is that if a company, and I don't know how a company has a serious conviction in their religious beliefs, because it's a company, it's not a person.
People like Cory Gardner, Tom Tillis, Mike Kaufman, and Joni Ernest are setting us back in time for women's rights.
Putting the anti-choice policy into effect would shut down Planned Parenthood clinics over silly things like hallway width, which would be bad for not only women but also men.
We understand that security is tight. Could you explain that?
So we do, security is very important here. We have quite a bit of opposition, and that's against Planned Parenthood, that's against services that we offer. What you didn't see because of when you came is that we have protesters every day that we offer abortion services here, and they stand outside of the big fence.
People like this don't understand the importance of Planned Parenthood services and don't understand the effect that Amendment 67 has. This issue is being presented as protective legislation, which sounds good but would make the workplace more difficult and less flexible to work with.
That Amendment 67 goes as far as potentially prosecuting somebody for a miscarriage, which is not necessarily in control of her body, prosecuting for in vitro, doctors that actually provide a service to help with pregnancy.
These are the forms of birth control women in America use. These are the forms of birth control Amendment 67 would outlaw.
Even though some unplanned pregnancies cause death, the government still wants to make it illegal to perform an abortion and would leave more children without parents. 1,900,045 or more each year unplanned pregnancies are prevented through Planned Parenthood. That would result in 860,000 unintended births and abortions. Of that, 46% would go into foster care.
Our plea is that you don't let the government take away our freedom to choose our future with anti-choice policies like Amendment 67.